Thanks for joining us on the Daily Buzz from the 2015 Cannes Film Festival. I'm John Wildman, coming to you on KUT Radio and online. We're on the ground in the French Riviera, overlooking the coast just off the Creuset, here at the Bagatelle Beach across from the Grand Hotel. And right now we're going to be talking about the film An Open Secret, and I have with me producer Matthew Valentinas and one of the subjects of the film, Evan Henzi. And I have just seen this film and am still kind of reeling from seeing this. It's well, you know something. I'm going to start off. I was going to do this at the end, but Evan, as well as being a subject in the film, you wrote or co-wrote the song that plays during the final credits. It's called "A Call to Action." Is that the
call to arms?
A call to arms.
Yeah.
A call to arms. And the reason I wanted to bring that up immediately, because when I review documentaries, I oftentimes refer to them as a call to arms. And as I was listening to the song, going, well, they even actually have it in the song at the end of this.
Yeah.
Because this documentary could not be more of a call to arms. And obviously, it's a tough subject to deal with. It's a tough subject to kind of wrangle and get around. And as one of the subjects in the documentary, can you just touch on briefly your decision to participate within it? Because that could not have been an easy decision to make.
No, it was a really hard decision, but it was. I told my story way before this. In November of 2011 is when I came forward against Marty, and I was reached out to in 2013, early 2013, and I saw the benefit of, Marty went to jail for 6 months, so I didn't feel like I got the most justice for what I could, and so I thought this film would be a good way for me to get that justice that I feel like I deserved. But doing through this film and speaking about my story, I realized that, that's not what it's about, and I realized it was about being free and being free from all your secrets and getting to tell.
Well, I had multiple thoughts watching this. Where the adage, sunlight is the best disinfectant. They say you shine a light on something, and you can't possibly hide from it anymore. And with you and the other subjects that come forward and speak so candidly and with such courage about your experiences, I did have that thought of each individual, yourself included, where this kind of fell within your processing of moving forward and getting past this thing that had been done to you.
Yeah. I went into the film for both reasons, like for me to get justice, but also because I knew it could help other victims come forward, and I wanted to reach out, and I thought it was the perfect opportunity, and I'm very thankful to Gabe and Matt for doing that and backing this film.
Right. And Matthew, I want to talk to you for a moment. The director, Amy Berg, has a great reputation as a filmmaker taking on very difficult subjects. We just talked to her at the Sundance Film Festival with Prophet's Prey, a recent film of hers. I want to talk about how you became involved with the project and touch on also, we do different films, especially documentaries, for different reasons. There are call to arms documentaries like this. Sometimes, they're historical, getting information out there that wasn't previously. From the passion that I saw at the Q&A following the screening, this seems to be a passion project for everybody involved. And I would love to have you talk about that.
Yes, thank you. This film really started in 2011. Gabe, who's the main financier of the film, and I are friends from New York University. And we were talking about doing a documentary. Originally, a boxing documentary was what started the conversation. And then Gabe said, I really want to do something for charity, something to stop abuse against women or children. Can you find something that's interesting? So we were really researching stuff for a couple months, and then when I really heard Corey Feldman talk about Corey Haim and his experiences again, I know he had spoken about it before, but when he had sort of revisited it in 2011 and 2012, it sort of just hit me driving on the road in York, Maine, is where I was at the time, and I was like, that's a subject we could really do some damage on, and I think we could have a positive effect. I had lived in L.A. for 7 years, and I think anyone that's lived in L.A. has heard all the rumors, has maybe seen some of these events. So we originally reached out to Corey Feldman's manager, and that kind of gave us the impetus to move forward because he said he was interested. And then the next step was really finding a director who could handle this subject in a way that wouldn't be tabloid. And obviously I'd come across Amy's film, Deliver Us from Evil, and, you know, being from Boston, where I'm very familiar with the church scandal, and it was just amazing to me how she was able to get that confession out of the priest. I think it's Oliver O'Grady in that film. And I really like her directing style. She's old school in the sense that she doesn't put herself in the films, and she really lets the people in the film speak for themselves. And we knew that she wouldn't be exploitive and that she could handle a serious subject matter like this and really bring it out, and I think she clearly did that. So I reached out to her, and Caitlin Howes was the producer that was working for her at the time, and we did sort of an original. It wasn't just something where she was like, yeah, sure, I want to do this. It was, can we find enough information? Let us do some research if there's really enough there to tell a story. And what we learned is you can't really tell this story without people like Evan. And if people like Evan hadn't come forward, this movie wouldn't have been made. So there was sort of a lot of, you know, I don't want to say hand-holding, but a lot of waiting and eager patience to convince people that, hey, we're going to support you, we're going to back you, this is going to be a quality film, we're going to do things correctly, factually, legally, we're going to protect you, we're not going to let anything go wrong, we're not going to let anyone come out and, you know, try and victim shame you, and we're going to go the whole 9 yards and really try and get this out there. And it's been a challenge, but the best parts about this are when you get people like Evan to commit or people like Joey Coleman to commit. And everything comes in drips and drabs in a documentary over periods of months. But finally it starts to really come together. And it resulted in what I think is an amazing film.
And Evan, I want to get your thoughts also. We watch documentaries and we watch... And oftentimes we wonder about the subjects, the people like yourself that are brave enough to open up, to share their stories. And I would love for you to talk about, because it's not oftentimes that we actually get to talk to the subject of the documentary. Oftentimes we're just talking to the filmmaker, you know, who is asking the questions. And so I would love to have you talk about what was going through your mind, you know, as as they ask you in the first place, and then as they're miking you up, and then does it get easier once it starts to flow? It's
a really bizarre experience because I mean I'm talking about being abused in the entertainment industry, and then I'm being mic'd up, but there's cameras all around me, so I already have like that previous anxiety with all that stuff. And so I mean in the process, like I really liked Amy. She was a wonderful person. I feel like we have a connection, and we hit it off from the get-go, and I trusted her to tell the story, and I was really adamant that I wanted to, make sure that it wouldn't be taken in a different direction, and I didn't know who to trust. I mean, going through, like, being abused by people, and I trusted her, and now look at the result. I mean, like, I couldn't be more proud of her and for telling it that, the way she did.
It's eye-opening. It's heartbreaking to watch. It's you actually hear in the audience, gasps from people, because it's one of those subjects that even as you suspect it. Even as you say, I'm sure that's going on. I'm sure you still don't think about it in that very difficult context. Mm-hmm. And so again, as you're doing the interview or preparing for the interview on camera, were you going through like a series of subjects that you knew you were going to talk about beforehand, or or did pretty much it just start
I
and
really
then the conversation happened?
Yeah, that's the way it happened. I really tried to prepare, and I thought about it day and night, like leading up to it. But
I'm sure.
Yeah, but then actually when we did it, I had no notes, nothing. I just said whatever came to my mind, and they asked me questions, and I responded, and yeah, we got into a conversation about it. So
now, and let me now, you have just seen this. How many times have you seen this now play out on screen? How many times have you watched it?
I watched it twice beforehand because I wanted to feel comfortable with what was being released, and they let me see the film, and that was nice. And then I saw it on a big screen at Doc NYC, and now I see it here at the Marché du Film in Cannes.
What is it like? Now, what is it like when because there's an audience, so there's a bunch of other people there.
I'm happy that people do want to see this film and support it. And I feel like there are people within the entertainment industry who would back this subject because people don't want to work with pedophiles. So I feel like there is a support system that's happening, and I feel like it's just getting people to speak up and take action in that support. Because I feel like a lot of people are thinking about it, and that's what we're here to do, is to start that talk and help the victims that are going through it right now as we're talking here, and who, I feel like the pot is boiling, and it's only going to be an explosion of good things and positivity for all the victims and the right people.
Well, and that leads me to the next question, actually, Matthew, for you, where we talk about where, one, the process, after the film is made, getting it to here at Cannes, where people can see it, because I would love for you, if you can touch base quickly on where you thought it was going to screen, and then discovered it was not going to screen for whatever reason, and and you can talk about that or not. But it seems that there was some difficulty in getting outlets for it, which then your distribution pattern. Then you guys had to take the bull by the horns to do that. Can you talk about that aspect? It's one thing to make a movie; it's another thing to get it in front of people. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I think that. Our original plan was to complete it on time. Obviously, a film, this probably took 3 to 4 months longer than we had been planning, but you try to plan the film to come out. We were targeting maybe Sundance originally, but it wasn't ready for Sundance. And then so we were like, okay, LA Film Festival will be our launch, and that'll be good because it's in LA. And LA seemed like they were into it, and I don't know the whole story, but we were making plans to go there, and then it was sort of the feedback I was hearing was, well, this is sort of almost too serious a subject matter for the LA Film Festival. It's not that type of film festival. And then, so, and Toronto had been telling us they love this, don't take it anywhere else. We haven't sent out official things yet, but there's a very good chance you'll be one of them, so just be cool. And then
this was last year?
Yeah.
For Toronto?
Right, and then that never came. And we always find these things out like the last week before or 2 weeks before. And then, we were like, okay, fine. London seemed to really want to have this, and it seemed to be very welcoming. And we were like, you know what, it might be cool to actually show this in Europe first and maybe shame America. And then we had to do a couple calls with some of the legal affairs guys in the British Film Festival who wanted to go over our insurance policy, which we did. We have a great copyright attorney on this, Al Wickers. He's the best, and this film couldn't have been made without him. And we have an amazing insurance policy. We have extra insurance. We've vetted and cleared everything, every T and I, and we explained everything to the lawyer with a sales agent on the phone and a distributor on the phone, and nothing. Then 2 weeks later, we get a letter saying, well, British tabloid law prevents us from, really showing this. We have more strict tabloid laws than you guys do, and we're worried about that. And then they said, our lawyers did a report on that, and that's so sorry, we can't show it. But I was like, okay, great. Well, can you send me what your lawyers said? I'd love to see it so maybe we can fix things. And I requested that 3 times, and I never saw it. So that's what happened.
It's fascinating to me because on a pure programming level, I cannot imagine who would not want to have, be the person to put this in front of an audience. It's remarkable to me. Well, and of course, you guys have a celebratory party for actually having it in front of the theater to get to. I would love for you to finish up and let's talk about the Courage to Act Foundation.
Yes, I think that's an important thing to stress, and thank you for giving us the opportunity. The Courage to Act Foundation is a foundation we've created that all the proceeds from this film are going to go to. So we're not making, Esponda Productions is not making any profit off of this film. We've fully financed it, and everything's going to go to the charity. And the charity, we want the charity to live on for years. If the charity is still functioning 3, 5, 10 years from now, that's where we want young actors, parents of actors, organizations like Biz Parents, who's really been helpful with us in passing laws, legislators. We want all those people to reach out to the Courage to Act Foundation, and we want that to be the organization that continues to sprout from this film. Like, this film will have its run, and hopefully it's remembered. But if the Courage to Act Foundation is successful and grows for the next 3 or 4 years and people are still using that foundation, then this truly will have been a success.
Well, Matthew Valentinas, Evan Henzi, thank you both for being here. Thank you for talking with us. The film, again, is an open secret. The director's Amy Berg. This thing is going to be headed, at least initially, to 20 cities,
yes,
I believe. You need to see this film. That's as easy, simply
June
as I can
5th,
put it.
It opens in Seattle and Denver.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Aloha from the Hawaii Film Office, the central point of contact for all filming in the Hawaiian Islands. The office provides film permits and location resources and also administers the refundable production tax credit program. Find out more at filmoffice.hawaii.gov.
This is John Wildman with the Daily Buzz at Cannes 2015. Thanks to KUT, our sponsors, Hawaii Film Office, Production Legal, Cloud Electronics, SoundCloud, and Angry Porcupine. Our producer is Irene Cho.